Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell leads his cabinet as the first to declare his assets under this new administration to the Integrity Commission on Thursday. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. Prime Minister and welcome back. With the details to the news for Thursday, December 1st, 2022, I am Sherry-Ann Noel. In a continued effort to ensure public officials are free from corruption, the Integrity Commission of Grenada hosted a declaration of assets of cabinet ministers today. This falls in line with the Integrity in Public Life Act, which requires all public officers and officers to file declarations of their assets and liabilities. This acts as a shield against corrupt behavior in office. Grenada is known as a best practice for other countries to follow, and chairperson of the Integrity Commission, Lady Anandi Trotman Joseph, says the commission is doing its part to ensure it remains this way.
Our commission here in Grenada is not a post office. Not only do we receive these declarations, but we go a step further. We carry out a compliance exercise. That is, we check to see what they are saying is true against what is in our public registry, all of our registries actually, and if there are any red flags, there's a red flagging or a green flagging process. So if for any reason anything jumps out at the compliance officers as needing further checks, that will be undertaken. From time to time, sometimes what looks maybe alarming can really just be a very honest mistake or something that can be clarified by declarants, and that is usually sorted out pretty quickly between the parties. Grenada is a regional best practice. We have been so declared, and we are grateful that because of the persons who come in to declare to us, of course, we are also grateful for the diligence and the commitment of the staff of the Integrity Commission in ensuring that we did achieve this best practice system by our establishment and our diligence, as I shared before.
Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell was the first to declare his assets on Thursday, leading by example for his colleagues to follow. PM Mitchell says the process was tedious and hopes to improve on this by making it electronic and not paper-based. He believes this act is necessary in holding public figures accountable.
It's about your own integrity. If you are clear as a public servant that you have nothing to hide, and that over time you will have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't worry about making the declaration. At the end of the day, as public servants, you are in positions of trust. You get into positions where you have sometimes considerable control over state resources, and it's important to assure the public that you are not using it to benefit yourself personally from it, or your family for that matter. And so from that perspective, the integrity is important for us as public servants to make sure that the public knows that.
Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, Honorable Joseph Andel, accompanied the Prime Minister and filed his declaration of assets as well. Minister Andel believes this is a very important process for strengthening democracy.
As leaders, we have a responsibility to set the tone in terms of ethics and morality in public office. So overall, I think it is a very, very good step. We have to see ourselves as servants of the people and not just pay lip service to the concept, but actually live it out in practice. We have a very heavy responsibility to manage the affairs of the state, and we have to do so in as fair and impartial a manner as we can, and ensure that we give proper account for the people's business.
The Commission reported that some applications were made for extension of time for filing their declarations, which is a normal practice. A new date will be announced for those persons. Moving along, the Ministry of Information Communication Technology, ICT, has broadened its reach to build awareness on the importance of cybersecurity and online protection through the launch of its web portal. On Thursday, the ministry unveiled its new logo and website, which expands its influence and gives the public a secure space to make reports for investigation and access information. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Finley Jeffrey, speaking on behalf of Minister Lennox Andrews, says the website is in line with government's transformational agenda towards a digital economy and a more efficient ICT sector. He explained that the Financial Intelligence Unit has reported that from 2019 to 2022, Grenadians has lost over 200,000 to online scammers.
The provision of a website and the specific branding of the CISO will serve to strengthen our safety nets and stem this tide of loss, hurt, and pain. Let us all share the website and logo to our friends and families. Let the CSUT be a part of our household conversation as a place, a service available to every Grenadian at home and abroad, where we can report suspicious online activity and bring our concerns to be investigated.
According to PS Scholar, no individual or organization is immune to online threats and scams. However, the onus is on everyone to understand and take steps to keep cyber alert and safety.
All of us netizens who enjoy the advantages of and engage on the internet owe it to ourselves and other users to at least acquire a functional knowledge and understanding of how to keep safer online. The CSUT can help you do that. We must be aware that scammers, hackers, and opportunistic actors make it their livelihood to take advantage of the online explosion in business and communication and continuously sharpen their skills to defraud and scam people. Internationally, we witness the increase in attacks and cybercrimes on unsuspecting netizens and organizations who have not been properly prepared or sufficiently aware. Even here, in our quiet corner, Grenada has not completely escaped this plague. Recently, we saw that a major financial institution was hit by hackers, but that their CSUT was quickly able to identify and nullify this threat to business.
Grenadians are encouraged to visit the website csut.gov.gd or contact the team at 423-2478 to make reports to access more information. ICT Officer Jovis Dabrio said the webpage is user-friendly, with additional links to other pages and platforms of the ministry.
It is a repository that brings together all the content that we put out. Bulletins, you'll find it there. The services we provide, you will find that there. How to get in touch with us, you are also going to find that there. In addition to other links that will provide you with additional information, so you can be empowered and keep yourself safe. It doesn't matter where you are, you will see that green button in the bottom left-hand corner that will allow you to interact with us via WhatsApp. And understand, the website is not doing away with our WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter accounts. It is just going to supplement them. It is going to create that one space where you can, launch to all these different places with the click of a button.
Tyrone Ragbasin was announced as the winner of the ministry's logo competition, which was launched in June. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Grenada. The time for the national census is here again. Interviewers will...
Minister for Disaster Management, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, calls for continuous preparedness in and out of the Atlantic hurricane season, which runs from June to November. He made the call during a National Disaster Management Agency's review of the 2022 season on Wednesday, November 30th. Prime Minister Mitchell said Grenadians must be grateful that there were no major events this season, which was forecast to be above average by the Colorado State University and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. There were 14 named storms, 8 of which became hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes, Fiona and Ian.
As a nation, we give thanks that Grenada was spared any major disaster events during the hurricane season of 2022. Preparedness is a continuous process which has no end. Comprehensive disaster management mandates that we put measures in place to be prepared for all hazards through all phases of the disaster management cycle by all people. As a nation, we must be prepared for all hazards which can occur at any time during the year. It is important to have a family disaster plan, a disaster supplies kit, and all the information necessary to make the right decisions to protect and save lives and reduce damage to property during emergencies. As we end the 2022 hurricane season, let us now use the next 6 months to become better prepared for the 2023 hurricane season. Become a volunteer with the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, and make your contribution to disaster management at the community level.
Although the island was not severely affected by major hurricanes or storms, NADMA recorded frequent rainfall, floods, and slides in various communities throughout the country. Acting head of the meteorological services at the Morris Bishop International Airport, Tricia Miller, said the ongoing La Nina will cause an increase in rainfall during the hurricane season.
We did have a number of flood events as a result of tropical waves, which is common in the wet season / hurricane season. So most of the events, if not all, were as a result of tropical wave, those intense rainfall events that we had. All the months of the season were above average rainfall, except for September, which was unusual. We had our 6th dry September on record, in fact, this year, which is very unusual for September. The peak of the hurricane season and the wet season is really like mid-August to mid-October. And so you would have found that there was a lull during that period. In fact, the experts were trying to figure out what really caused it, because it is a La Nina year, as you mentioned. And for us in this region, La Nina is what would give us more rainfall. It tilts the odd towards more rainfall and more hurricane activities for our region. So you are correct. And so for us, that's why it was not unusual to have those tropical waves coming across and the intense rainfall activity that we saw, because the ongoing La Nina would cause that for us.
Dr. Terence Walters, National Disaster Coordinator, gave the assurance that NADMA will be working with stakeholders to review the occurrences of the 2022 season, to build and put more structures in place to boost preparedness for the 2023 hurricane season.
We need to continue preparedness. Now, again, we get the predictions and we say, okay, it's going to be above average or below average. But then we have to remember it takes just one storm. So even if the professionals predict there will be 3 storms this year, and one of those storms impact 3 or 4 islands, then we have a major event on hand. So whatever the predictions, we have to be prepared at all times. So here we are. We went through the season. At the end of the season, we have another 6 months until the next hurricane season. So we should spend that time reviewing what happened in 2022 and building to see how we can be better prepared for the next hurricane season.
And finally in the news, the Division of Culture should be the hub to build and develop the future cultural ambassadors of Grenada, Carriacou, and Spiti Martinique through various expressions of art. That's according to Youth and Culture Minister Honorable Ron Redhead, who was speaking at the Division of Culture's end-of-year concert on Wednesday, which showcased young emerging talents who participated in programs of the Culture Division. Minister Redhead said the event is a testament to the need to invest more in the creative industry.
Essentially, government is taking the position that we must build the creative industry and the creative economy separate and apart from culture. That culture, history, and the arts must be a developmental tool for our young people in particular and help to pave the way for continuous and future development of the arts. And as such, this event here demonstrates clearly why we need to invest more in development of our culture. The culture and the arts plays a very pivotal role in keeping our young people well involved. As you can see the drama there with COVID-19, it was a clear demonstration that we need to invest more in doing some things like that so that we can tell our stories and that we can tell our history in a dramatic way.
Noting that the creative sector is a multi-billion-dollar industry, Permanent Secretary Norman Gilbert said it is important to develop the skills and talents of Grenadians to take advantage of the opportunities that are available. He encouraged parents to support their children in the arts as the ministry embarks on initiatives to maximize the potential that exists and provide the necessary platforms for development.
Whilst we are working as a ministry to develop the talents, when these young ones move on, they should be able to raise revenue as part of their talent that they have as part of their abilities. And so we have to set the platform and the right policies for the implementation of the culture. We do have a cultural policy that needs some revision, and we are going to be working in 2023 to ensure that the cultural policy is revisited and that we seek to continue the development of culture and the art. Government has also made investment in the Simon Cultural Center, and part of that investment would include ensuring that we are able to provide a suitable space, an adequate space for the development of culture and the art.
Over 10 groups and individuals participated in the concert. Among the featured performances were students from the school orchestra program, drama from the Creative Arts Theatre, St. Paul's Government School Dance Troupe, St. Joseph's Convent St. George's, St. Andrew's Choral Speaking Group, Presentations Brothers College School Band, and Conception Dance Theatre. Here are some of the highlights.
What is all of this? Hand sanitizer? Masks?
I think 19 did something to me.
I think 19 did something to me too.
So why can't I remember?
Okay, I think 19 may have helped me.
But what if it didn't?
Well, then that wouldn't have been good. Because 19 affected my whole family.
Wait a minute. I remember now! COVID!
Oh. COVID-19! That's the connection!
Exactly!
That story brings us to the end of the National Report for Thursday, December 1st, 2022. Now for a recap of the top story. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell leads his cabinet as the first to declare his assets to the Integrity Commission on Thursday. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sherry Ann Noel, thanking you for viewing.